31 years later, the legacy of the Tiananmen Square incident continues to haunt Sino-American diplomatic relations. Last night here in Hong Kong, many gathered in Victoria Park, holding a candlelight vigil, as they always do this time of year, to commemorate the lives lost during the violent crackdown in 1989 in Beijing. This year's commemoration was particularly poignant. For one thing, the police for the first time banned it, citing health grounds. People went anyways. And for the other, many of the people there to mourn Tiananmen were also mourning something more recent, namely the passage of tough new security legislation coming from Beijing, which will be inserted into Hong Kong law targeting secession, sedition, terrorism, and foreign interference. The Americans and their European allies, other democracies in Asia, have come out against this. They say it violates the spirit under which Hong Kong was handed back to Chinese control in 1997 by the British. The United States politicians are preparing a tough raft of sanctions, looking at entities, individuals, even their banks for participating in this legislation. Now, at the same time, a lot of Chinese politicians and commentators are pointing out that it's a little bit hypocritical for the United States government to be criticizing China for methods it appears to be considering using itself. They love to point to Senator Tom Cotton's recent op-ed in the New York Times where he says, "Send in the military." Well, Beijing did it, now Washington's going to do it. Obviously, if Washington wants to get tough sanctions through to deter China from doing this, they could use allies and cooperation to make the sanctions stick. But of course, that's tough when you yourself are seen as a hypocrite and not credible on human rights.